Oh yes, today's show is about a luminary. You know, this guy came, he did what he did in Rumba Congolese, and he left us with plenty of memories. And not just that, but he also left us two of his own children that also joined the world of Rumba. We are talking about Vicky Longomba. Is the man that I'm going to feature in this show. So he happened, and of course he left quite an impact within the time that he lived. So stay tuned as we talk about Vicky Longomba. Where was he born? Did he go to school? How did he get into the world of music, etc., etc.? That will be in this show. The song that I'm playing next is called Lokolo. Julius Tuku, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. Caleb Mukuna, karibu sana. Papa Ray Osolo Balobi Nateki Makolo. Welcome to the show. Nakolela wapie Balobi nateki makulu Nakolola ninge Nakolola ninge Nakolola ninge Balobi nasoki moyenge Engombe ye Engombo Engombe ye Engombe ye Matambo Engombe ye Yes, the show is about Vicky Longomba, and I like the way Ray Osoro has come out guns blazing. He says from the word go, he wonders why. Let me actually read his entire comment before we even start off this show. He says, hello Mwalimu Chris Kea. He's tuned in. He says, actually he's asking Nyamoya Migiro, I'm just perplexed why Vicky Longomba could not manage a band of his own. Was it cowardice or was it incompetence? So this is the band we are talking about. Vicky Longomba, the father to Awilo Longomba and Lovi Longomba. Grandfather to the Longombas, you know. Caleb Mukuna anasema namna gani Mbote Mwalimu Chris Kea following at Mwamba in Lugari. Thank you. Abdul Malik Olewoki watching from Jumba la Mtwapa. Did you say Mtwapa or Mutwara? Now, Vicky Longomba had his full name as Victor Longomba Besange Lukuli. So that was his full name, Victor Longomba Besange Lukuli. But he was commonly known as Vicky Longomba. Born in Kinshasa on the 13th of December 1932. He was actually born at L'Hôpital General de Kinshasa, the general hospital in Kinshasa. And I have even been able to gather that he was actually born at around 8 p.m. on the 13th of December 1932. So unfortunately, Vicky Longomba left us in the same city, Kinshasa, on the 12th of March 1988, and he passed away at Clinique Ngaliema at Ngaliema Hospital in Kinshasa. Ray Osoro asks Hesbon Odero Jachabera and also Nyamoya Migiro, Caleb Miguna, Abdul Malik Olewoki, Bosire Tochi, Eddie Kwasi, Aristotle Lenga, Anne Sirengo, Peter Mahagwa. No, he's actually asking all these guys to come to the show. So Vicky Longomba was therefore born on the 29th, on the 13th of December, and unfortunately we lost him 13th of December 1932, and unfortunately we lost him on the 12th of March 1988. Now, Vicky Longomba was an outstanding musician. You know, if you talk about people that can do proper vocals for you, you know, I think he stands out to be the best of the best. In fact, to date, a lot of the current upcoming musicians try to copy the way he used to do his music, the way he used to manipulate his own vocals. He was such an outstanding musician. He is actually one of the co-founders of what is called a modern or rumba Congolese, Yasika modern rumba, because of the way he revolutionized how to sing. And not just that, with the bands that he participated in. So we are talking about a very, very talented guy here. Tonya Maloba, Sema watching from Malindi. My salams to Director General Sabi Nyaralego, wherever she is. Anakwanga Brooklyn, also called Buruburu. Karibu sana katika show. Let us bring all of them so that we can do this together. So that's actually just the introductory remarks of what was a very, very serious artist, an artist that graced rumba Congolese and did things that we can only describe as wonderful. Yes, the name is called Cherie Lovie. Bosire Tochi, karibu sana kwa show. Thank you very much for joining this show. Yes, those are the vocals of Vicky Longomba. Listen to how he's leading this song, Cherie Lovie. Oh, chérie la vie, oh, chérie la vie, hey. Chérie la vie,
Tomandaki daya papi, tosili totikaniege. Oh chérie la vie, totikani na bawa. Wakemboga.
baba, baba, baba. So I want to continue giving you the history of Vicky Longomba. Now, he started his music at a very tender age. Of course, he began as a session artist. You know, then there were several recording studios that were just emerging around that time. Among them, of course, we had Loningisa, but that of course came a bit later. But let's say this, that Vicky Longomba started his professional career, his career proper as a session artist around 1953 at Sefa Edition Sefa, or let me say Sefa recording studio. Sefa in full, man, forgive my French, comptoir pour l'exploitation du folklore africain. I think it was just a center, a recording studio that wanted to really exploit, or if you will, to bring up folkloric African music or traditional African music. So they concentrated on artists that could transform the local songs into meaningful music. Of course, it's not that it was not music, but just to try to modernize it and give it new instruments, new feel and everything to that matter. Comptoir pour l'exploitation du folklore africain, CFA. So that's actually where our artist of the show started from, and this recording studio was found in Kinshasa, but those days Kinshasa was called Leopoldville, and he's a singer, he's a tenor singer. So guys that can do tenor can always go away, can always do a song on their own, or they can give very serious backup. So he used to sing tenor, and he would of course combine with other studio artists. Then if you talk about, for example, Roger Izedi, and Francois Bondu. So then they had like a small band that they were calling Les Trois Caballeros. So that's what they were calling their band. And Ray tells me that the songs that OK Jazz released in 50s were very beautiful. Vicky's voice, songs like Bonane, Oyo Yangai, and Bonane Oyo Yangai na Kobina, other songs like Vea, you know, that these were extremely, they did very good songs, by the way. If I may just read what Ray is saying here, Benga Baila, several cha-cha songs as well. They did some Spanish, so they were very explorative of the current of the music scene of the time. That's what you're saying, that these boys came and they were trying to move rumba Congolese to the next level. So he was at Sefa, but then of course and they were just emerging, like I told you. They were just trying to do music in giving music some new style. For example, he wrote the song Chérie Hour, which means my dear hour. He wrote Congo Yasika, or the new Congo, among other songs. But Sefa was not doing so very, very well, and so it actually became bankrupt around 2 years later, after Vicky Longomba had joined around 1955. So that's why Vicky now moved from Sefa and went to the other, I really like to call it, school of music called the Loningisa Studios. So he found other people that were also moonlighting, if you will, or people that were session artists, that they did not have a specific band, but if somebody wanted to record a song, they would be there to lend a voice, to play the instruments and so on. So these guys were session artists. They didn't have a band of their own as such. And among the people that were also session artists in this band was of course Franco Luambo Luanzo Makedi. So I'll be telling you more of the working relationship that then developed between Franco Luambo Luanzo Makedi and Vicky Longomba while they were in Loningis studio. But first of all, Cesar Aboyayo.
Kokali alinginga ye Pardona kosenga yo Pekisa mwasina yo moyo zisika Kambo yango Petani yo Azali kofinga ngai Kotongo ngai Alobi yo boy ngai Kakolanda te Taebi yo Alobana yo Takoto badaki Lokola usiye Ngai nalikite Anzambeo Nana yoto swana Na mesenite Obandela Mobali alingite Pardona kosenga yo Pekisa mwasina yo Moyo zisika Ikambo yango Etali yo Azali kofinga ngai Kotongo ngai Alobi yo boy ngai Nakolanda te Naebi yo Malobana yo Nakoto badaki Lokola usiye Ngai nazali na ngana ni kambote Nyeso yoko no pangai na komi natika na yeye katika kakodondwa
Hey. 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 Hey.
Pekisa mosi na yo yasika katika kakotumolanga ye natika na yo ye natika kakodondwa
Oh yes, we continue with this. So the song is Caesar Aboyayo. Two women having a swipe at each other, saying, by the way, Caesar left you. I don't know why you still stick on him. And from the time that he left you, see yourself, see how you're suffering. You are even emaciated. You don't even eat very well. Good. So, like I said, Vicky Longomba met Franco in Loningisa studios, so they were, session artists. But in 1956, they decided to create a band. Actually, they would be going to the studio to moonlight, and then in the evening they would again be doing music in clubs and weddings and so on. So Vicky, together with Franco Luambo Makedi, they used to perform in a bar. I'll be telling you about that very shortly. But then they decided to become a band, to form a band. And among the band members for the band OK, and I'm going to tell you what OK was, or let me tell you what OK Jazz. So OK was, these guys used to perform in a band that was owned by Gaston Cassien. So that was his original name. But remember, there was the l'authentication period when people were required to drop foreign names and adopt African names. So the owner of that band, who was called Gaston Cassien, decided to change his name to Oscar Kashama, and therefore the bar was called the OK Bar. And because Franco and his friends and his peers used to perform, I'm saying moonlight, at OK Bar, they decided that they would just call their band OK Jazz. And the members of the band at the time were Vicky Longomba, Jean Serge Jesus. Of course, there was Francois Luambo Makedi, Franco Luambo Makedi himself. There was Delalone. There was Augustine Moniama. Then there was Lamonta Libalin. There was Saturnine Pandi and Philippe Lando Rossignol. I think must have joined them a little later. Then of course there was also Nicolas Bosuma. So these guys created OK Jazz, and that name has largely been attributed to the band where they used to perform. The band was called OK Bar, and OK in this case to mean that it came from the name from the proprietor Oscar Kashama. So that is how we ended up having that band, OK Jazz. Now this band, as it started, they would of course play music in different places. They will play in weddings, in funerals, in events, and they will also start recording their own music, of course. And in 1957, unfortunately, Felipe Lando Rossignol quit OK Jazz, but then of course they brought in Franco brought in Edo Nganga. Remember that at this point in time, OK Jazz was not being managed by one person. It was actually they co-chaired, if you will, the manning or running of that band. But then of course Edo Nganga came in to replace Lando Rossignol Philippe, and Edo Nganga came from Congo Brazzaville. Now another person that also joined OK Jazz, it will look like we are talking about Franco and OK Jazz, but it is because at the point of formation of OK Jazz, Vicky Longomba was so pivotal. So that's why when we give the history of Vicky Longomba, we must also give the history of OK Jazz, at least during that era, that epoch. So Isaac Musekiwa came from Zimbabwe. He was another very nice sax player. But Vicky and Eduardo Nganga, who had joined in 57, were of course the vocal lineup that was, you know, flying the OK Jazz school, if you will. They were such a serious duo, vocally speaking. So they paired up and they did some very good job on the vocals. And so that is what we are saying, that at around from 1956 to around 1960, the Vicky Longomba and the other people are all of course together, except for Rossignol that had stepped out to pursue his own other interests. I bring you the song Mino ya Luambo Diama. And you know, Franco Luambo Luanzo Makedi had so many enemies, so he would occasionally remind them that however much they hate him, if should he die, let them let them do whatever they want to do with his body remains, including selling his teeth as diamonds. Mino ya diama. Well, okay.
Alungi nanga alingi ya mikanga Mbana nanga luka kikondongwa Lelo nisibali togi mboka Ombateko Banda nanga lena sanje modele Alobi nanga alingi ya mikanga Abanda kine soto lelo ekomi na bato Lobi ekoko mana banyama ya kongo bateko Banda nanga lena sanje modele Alobi nanga alingi ya mikanga Lena bota mananga nalekike Nakosuka wapi na bambada kama bandito Bada nanga nena change modele Alobi nanga lelingi ya mekanga Mokolo moko yokane na kufi na liziba Mino ya luambo bolongola boteka diamao Bada nanga nena change modele Alobi nanga lelingi ya mekanga Mongongo ya oke mongongo ya
Vicky
Bandeko likembe ya oke maboko ya luambo Bada nanga nena change modele
And Franco Luambo Luanzo Makedi is not even afraid of saying Mongongo ya Vicky, you know, the voice of Vicky Longomba. And he also says Maboko ya Luambo, and you know, the hand of Franco at playing Likembe. So it just shows you that Franco Luambo Makiadi really liked working with the Vicky Longomba. Let me just take that a little so you can enjoy the song Mino ya Luambo Diama. Mbandananga lelo alobi a changé model. And you know what my rival or my enemy has today said? That they have changed their approach, they have changed their tactics. What? Oh.
Alobi nanga lingi ya mekanga Mongongo ya oke, mongongo ya Vicky Kandeko likembe ya oke, maboko ya Luambo Banda nanga lelo asante modele Alobi nanga lingi ya mekanga Bokolo boko yo kande na kufinaliziba Mino ya Luambo bolongo la bote kadiamao Banda nanga lelo asante modele Alobi nanga lingi ya mekanga Abanda kina nzoto lelo Banda nanga lelo a changé modele Alobi nanga lingi ya mekanga
Hey.
Josephine, nasina baye wo mateko Nalingi na kosonga na obandeko Nakosala mabeli susute Nakambeli yo na miso ya mato Nakobambaka Basi ya kosala kanga bandeko Yeso wananga mwako na lukaki Na miluna luna ya kisasa Na sabu sitoto mateko Josephine Nasina boye wo mateko Nalingi na kosonga na obandeko Nakosala mabeli susute Nakambeli yo na miso ya mato Nakobambaka Basi ya kosala kanga bandeko
Chiri Vibian and Matthew Zokelo, thank you very much for joining this.
Nakosala mabeli susute Nakambeli yo na miso ya mato Nakobambaka Basi ya kosala kanga bandeko Yeso wananga mwako na lukaki Na miluna luna ya kisasa Na sabu sitoto Mokolo toko songa na mambo Ya mitoko ya mbana Gana yo soso Nokola kisana bato ya likulia Na mule na biso ezongi bakika Mokolo toko bimangeno yo mama Na ebi bakolo baisa ya makamarade bango bakosenginya yondo tikana ondola kisana bato ya likonya na mulena biso ezongi batika.
Hey! And listen to the backup by Yulu Mabiala in this song. Where? Now, in the year 1960, Vicky Longomba and his friend Jan Serge Jesus Brazos defected to African jazz band of Grand Calais, something that did not go down very, very well with the Franco Luambo Luanzo Makedi, we must say, because if two guys that are so vocally talented leave you at the same time and they're going to a rival band, of course you'd expect him not to have really been very happy with that. So just saying that in 1960 marked that other transition of Vicky Longomba switching to African jazz band, a rival band that was as well at that time giving Franco a run for its money, and more so because generally members of African jazz band were viewed as more suave as more educated, as more fashionable, and whatnot, that the music they were playing was actually high life. But anyway, before I go to what happened with African Jazz Band, Franco had to react to the departure of the two by recruiting another vocalist, Kwame Monsi. He also brought on board Mulamba Joseph Mujos. He also strengthened further by bringing on board Simaro Masia Lutumba Ndomba Nono, may God rest his soul in eternal peace. And of course, he also brought now Jesus was replaced by Varkis Kiamangwana on the winds, on the saxophone. But let's just say this, that the entry of Vicky Longomba in African Jazz Band of Kabasele can in many ways be seen as career growth, because he participated in the round table talks that happened in Brussels, and was actually a backup vocalist to the song Independence Cha-Cha. And this song has for a long time been viewed as the national anthem, or near national anthem, the way the lyrics are revered, and especially because of the importance of the moment at that time, when there was that clamor for freedom, and there were the round table talks. And so Jeff Kabasele was invited to be among those that will be performing. So we are saying, in other words, that we can actually view Vicky Longomba and the likes as people that participated in the fight for emancipation, in the fight for independence, albeit musically speaking. So here is a song where Vicky Longomba participated, and this song, I told you, is such a big song in Rumba Congolese. Anybody that cares to listen to Rumba Congolese will most likely have heard this song. Cha-cha. And I've just heard from research somewhere that who was at that time in that band did not participate in this particular song. Or I'm not sure if the entire Ron Table talks. I'm not sure if he missed the entire talks, or if he only missed in this song Independence Cha-Cha. Cha-cha, tozuie. Cha-cha, tozuie. Cha-cha.
chacha tubakile ondamero chacha baganyiro onipanda chacha tozulie.
Yes, Dr. Nico. So involved was Vicky Longomba with African jazz band that he composed the song Vive Patrice Lumumba. Forgive me for the quality of audio. That is the voice of Vicky Longomba. Now, so good was Vicky Longomba that in the year 1960 he composed a song, Naweli Boboto, still under African jazz band. Vicky Longomba was named the vocalist, the singer of the year, and he was the best singer again, of course, much later in 1968. But let's just say that Naweli Boboto was such a hit. It was so very well received. Shabash. So we are talking about a legend, because his contribution towards Rumba Congolese was actually legendary. If you look at his own singing prowess, if you look at his composing prowess, because this song also earned him the composer of the year. So the song composer of the year, singer of the year, and most likely, I don't know if it also gave African Jazz Band the band of the year. The contribution of Vicky Longomba. So when Vicky left, when Vicky came back, you know, by the way, it's good to say here that African jazz band, after the round table talks, they did an extensive tour of Europe, including Paris. They performed at the University of Paris. But when this guy came back home, of course, you can be sure that his relationship with Franco Luambo Makiadi was so much strained. So he came and formed a new band called Negro 6A. And so Vicky on the vocals and Leo Bole, very special. That, of course, Negro 6A became so successful. Later on, it had other important people, including Franco's own younger brother, joining it, but that's a story for another day. So so that's around 1962, and around the same time Franco had engaged on a foreign tour. Actually, he went to Nigeria, and this was around June of 1962, and there were negotiations, there was intervention, and so Franco Luambo Makiadi and Vicky Longomba came back together. So Vicky came back to OK Jazz for the second time, the second coming, if you will. Now this also coincided with the entrance of Lola Sheken, another very, very well established vocalist into OK Jazz. Now it's also around this time that Franco rebranded his band from OK Jazz to TP OK Jazz, Tupwisa OK Jazz, and of course the membership here had really increased. Remember that during the exit of Vicky Longomba, Franco had brought some other people to the band. So when Vicky came back, of course, the band was fairly expanded. But of course, that did not diminish the value that Franco added to Franco Luambo Makiadi, because I think there was a special place in Franco's heart for Vicky Longomba, and basically because of how strong a vocalist he was, and he was such a good composer as well. And never mind, of course, that they had also come together from being session artists in Loninkisa Studios, so they had therefore developed a very strong relationship. Normally I look at Franco and Vicky, the relationship, I also compare it with the way he treated Sam Mangwana. You know, Sam Mangwana would walk in and out of TPOK Jazz, and Franco will not have so much of an issue. I also like the way Yulu Mabiala would move in and out of OK Jazz. He would associate those TPOK Jazz. That just shows you that if Franco saw something much more valuable in you, of course he would really prefer a situation where he really keeps you. My friend Abogi Wipi, thank you very much, my brother. You know, he's my colleague, my buddy, and everything in between. Thank you very much for joining this. So what I want to do is to play you another song, and Twaini, and I like the drama in this song of a man that is so insecure that something happened. I'll tell you that shortly. And Twaini, another of those songs where you get the vocal prowess of Vicky Longomba.
Mama na pipi, papa
Antoine. So Vicky is telling us in this song that he met the wife of Antoine, and he had known her because she's a friend to his wife. But Antoine had other ideas. He thought that Vicky was up to no good. The fact that he gave his wife a lift, and he says that the reason why I gave your wife a lift was because we are familiar, that she comes to my place. I am known to her. She comes to see my wife because they are friends. But Antoine did not hear much of that because he was so annoyed. And so Vicky Longomba told him things in the song Antoine. Mwasi nayo kamarade ya mama na bana nanga. You know, your wife is a friend to my wife. What? Listen to the vocals of Vicky Longomba. What? Hey. Now, do you hear the lead vocaling of Vicky Longomba? And this song, I'll tell you what it means at the end of it all. Hey. 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 Now, this song is so sad, because this guy says, Zwani Nabala Nambongo. The Zwani that I married with my own money, that I even paid dowry to. You know what happened to me? I was jailed. And so when I was released, when I came back from the jail, my wife no longer respects me. In fact, I do not have a job. So my wife is the one that is currently sustaining me and my children. So she can actually leave the house saying that she's going to buy food in the market, and she'll stay there the whole time, leaving me behind with my children. So these are the lyrics in this song. And if I try to raise my voice, she tells me, Luka Mosala Noki Noki, that please hurry and find a job for yourself. So now this guy says, Apana, this is too much. So he goes to the in-laws place. He says that he no longer in the marriage with the Zwani, so he would like the in-laws to return his dowry. But the parents are saying, we tried our best. We know that she may not be so well behaved, but we are not going to return the dowry. So the guy keeps on saying, Naboy, I refuse, I reject that. What I want is for me and Zwani to part ways, because she no longer respects me, especially from the time I came back to jail. And he even says that if I continue staying with Zwani, I may again go to jail. So it means that in the first place, the reason why he was jailed is because he might have done something to warrant something against Zwani, perhaps to warrant him being jailed, because he says he does not want to serve another jail term. So you can look at the lyrics that these guys were singing. So Vicky Longomba together with Franco, and these guys were adept at trying out what I sometimes like to call taboo topics. They would sing songs that society will frown at, but which were of course obtaining. So it is just part of why you have to really appreciate that God somehow brought together Franco Luambo Makiadi, Vicky Longomba, and other artists, and that they created for us memorabilia, things that we shall live to remember for a very, very long time. So the coming back of Vicky Longomba to OK Jazz, I should say, was the peak, because I've seen an album where Franco and Vicky were even singing together, and Franco would of course do his wonders on the fretboard on the guitar, and Vicky will do his vocals so well. So I really appreciate that fact that this relationship happened. However, in 1971, Vicky Longomba left OK Jazz, and he created Lovie du Zaire, and among the band members in Lovie du Zaire include the then up and coming Siram Benza, there was Flammy, there was Bumba Massa, there was Bijou Kiika Masamba, there was Jean-Louis, who was actually playing his solo guitar, there was Gobi, that was playing guitar accompaniment, what you normally call rhythm guitar. Then guitar bass was being done by Zembla. Of course, then we also had other artists such as Feli Somida. And in 1972, even Francis Bishumano, commonly called Bijou, Celi Bijou, the bass guy, also joined Orchestre Lovie du Zaire after he quit TP OK Jazz. Even Yulu Mabiala also passed through Lovie du Zaire, not to forget Mose Fanfa, he of Papa Lolo. And then of course Vicky Longomba tried to do his own record label that he called Viclong, but of course it didn't do just as fine as it could have done. And Ray also actually was alluding to this fact that and in my own opinion Vicky Longomba excelled more when he was and this is what Ray was again asking, was he not such a proper leader that he still had to be propped by other people, that he didn't quite lead a band as you'd have wished him to do? Is the case? But as the show progresses, we are going to explore that possibility. But I want you to listen to this song that was composed by Lutumba Simao, and in the year was 1967, and sung by, among others, Vicky Longomba, and the song is called Gigi Yoka. Listen to Franco on the fretboard. You see, this song speaks to us. And Evelyn Jemo, thank you very much for joining. At the point when you part with the one that you love, what normally happens after? In fact, there was a song that was, of course, composed and sung by Felix Wazekwa. And he asks, what is that remains after love? And so we are being asked a question here. And JJ is saying, as of course Lutumba tells his ex that you went, but you are saying that I was more of bad luck, that the time that we started pushing together is the time that I did not grow, that I took you back a few steps. You are saying those things, and you cannot refuse your friend with that heart that bothers on the satanic, that it is not okay for you to say those things you're saying. The day will come back together. What will you say? So you see, these are very strong lyrics, and of course by none other than Le Poet, Simaro Lutumba and Domba Nweno, the one that did this song. Olobina Batongai na Zongi Sayosima. You have been telling people that I took you back, that you regret that I I took you many steps back during our relationship. Ngai koma bila makila mabe, that I am a very unlucky kind of guy. Makila mabe means that you are unfortunate, or that you have bad blood, if you will, that you can never succeed, that you're always prone to failure and so on. Nani akondi mangaya. But who is it that will actually agree or accept or at least side with my side of the story? Nayoki yo olobili susu. I also heard that you said Tovandi mpe mingi souvenir ezalite, that we stay together for such a long time, but there's no souvenir, there's nothing to remember, there's nothing between us. Nabolingo motindo na salisayo, and in this love, the way I really helped you. Ebongaki okumisangai mama. You are supposed to actually have praised me, or even called me Lokola Mokonzi. You should have praised me the way you would praise a boss. So Mokonzi is a better than you. Somebody of note is called Mokonzi. Olingaki nasomba lopango na bambua. You wanted me to buy you a house or a plot, and to also buy dogs. Na basanduku ya pauni, and very expensive boxes, and fill them with memorabilia, very expensive things. So that you could actually love me, or now believe that I loved you. So it's not just music for the sake of it, it's music that also conveys a message to society, talks about things that happen on a day-to-day basis, and that's why for a long time Franco and his accomplices have always been praised for raising things that afflict society, that affect society on a day-to-day basis, and that things that are familiar to society. Of course, once or twice Franco and his team crossed the line, and of course they had to face the consequences. So it is in these circumstances that we say that something very nice happened in Rumba Congolese, that we had Rumba Congolese in a way that is also special. Thomas Kinshasa Monoko. Now, of course, this is produced under his own band, Lovido Zaire. Ray Soro asked if this man could not lead a band. At least we know that this is a band he formed and he was the main man. Vicky du Zaire. The song is Thomas Kinshasa Monoko. I just like the way this song takes a very nice turn in the 7 section. Oh. Of course, after creation of Vicky Longomba, this band did not last for long because it was created around 72, early 72. But by the year 1974, Vicky Longomba had deterioration in his health, and this actually around 1974 he was sick. He was diagnosed with diabetes, and this really ravaged him. In fact, he almost lost his leg in the process. On top of that, again, he had a tumor in his head. So doctors would, carry out an operation. Surgeons actually removed tumors in his head, both in 1974 and 1981. So you can be sure that his health took a turn for the worse, and so he no longer became remained very, very active in music. But when he recovered from the 74 operation, he assumed the presidency of the Union of Zairean Music. Then it was actually called UMUZA, l'Union des Musiciens Zairois, l'Union des Musiciens Zairois, UMUZA. Actually, from 1972, when it was created and when he became an official, up to around 1986 or thereabouts. Nowadays, UMUZA, because of the change of the name Zaire to DRC, the Union of Musicians has now changed from UMUZA to UMUCO, which I think still means l'Union des Musiciens Congolais. So it's a union of Congolese musicians, and it really tries to address the plight of musicians that come from the Congos, especially from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, Vicky Longomba, of course, left a very rich legacy. There is no doubt about it. If you look at the bodywork of his own contribution, he is one of Africa's finest when it comes to rumba. If you look at the bands that he was associated with, of course, OK Jazz, then went to African Jazz Band, came to OK Jazz, which again, of course, changed to TPOK Jazz, even created his own Negro 6A, and created his own recording label, Vicky Long, which may not have taken, which may not have been so very successful, but which he created. And then, of course, he created Lovie du Zaire, and he was honored by the then president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, President Mobutu, with the National Order of the Leopard. And this was, of course, the highest recognition or award that could be given to a person in that country at that point in time. So just saying that we have been reflecting on the life and times of Vicky Longomba, and like I indicated, he rested on the 12th of March 1988 at Clinic Ngaliema Clinic. But of course, we are here to just celebrate what he achieved as an artist, what he achieved as a person, the many songs that he gave us. There has been this argument that perhaps his was the best voice, that he might have been the best vocalist, that people may not have been celebrating him enough for the way he was able to sing, to represent whatever it is that Hezbon Odero, Nakoti Mubimba, Koyoka Program, Yayaya Monse Mola Kisikea, kolo ya Kenya mobimba baebi elengi ezalaka na Monsieur Christia. Thank you very much, Papa Hesbon. You have come in at the point when we are almost leaving, but he says that people know that this program that we do here is a rumba program that also adds value by telling you a thing or two about artists. So we pick on an artist, or we pick on a theme and run away with it. So today we've been talking about Vicky Longomba, the father to Awilo Longomba. You know, if you know Awilo Longomba, he's done so much in terms of Sukus music. He's been with several bands, Loketo. He's worked with the Machacha of Diblo Dibala. He had quite a good working relationship with other bands, and he even actually has his own orchestra. He is a solo artist, as that may be. Now we also are saddened by the death of Diatho Lukoki, who was a vocalist with the TP OK Jazz. I just saw this on Shak Shakembo's Facebook update that we have lost this great guy. You know, if you remember the song Bolingo Mwatie Mwatie that was done by TP OK Jazz, you will know that he had a very strong contribution. But of course, we're going to create time to celebrate him, because he is one of us, and that he did he gave us a very strong contribution towards rumba Congolese. So this has been a show about Vicky Longomba, father to Awilo Longomba, father to Lovi Longomba of Super Mazembe. So it means that his progenies, his children did not fall so far away from him. In fact, his grandchildren, if you remember the Longomba brothers, those are actually his grandchildren. But he says in a song, Conseil d'ami, that sometimes you can get advice from friends, and not all advice is good advice. But nonetheless, you will always get situations where friends of yours try to give you advice. So here he says that somebody was given wrong advice. Remember that advice is advice, and advice is not binding. It is up to you to choose whether to follow. So advice that does not say you shall follow, it says you may follow. Thank you very much. Nakonzemba awa nalolakaya anzelu gana ina sango. Hey, that I am here singing with an angelic voice, like the voice of an angel, and I've come, of course, with some news. Now you see, Vicky Longomba was such a talented vocalist, and his vocalist is so clear. That's why he's saying nae awa na lolaka ya angelu, that I've come here with the voice of an angel. It was the voice of an angel, and that's what we have been celebrating in this show, even as we finish off with the song Conseil d'ami, the advice of a friend. na leloka ya Angelu. Oh.
Na boinde sonye na kosenga na Nzambe ya solo wayo kelanganye na kosenga na Nzambe alimbisa baine minanganye kana tesuwate moninga Sorola moninga Ngamona biso Ndenge tozalaki Makelele tewo Eleki malamwe Bakokosa yo mingi Balindi toyokana tewo Bakokosa yo na bato na yebi Tosuana pe topingana Ngai kulutu na yebisi Na kokite Soninike Naligite base kabiso Lokola basi babandi Lobi na lobi Bayela kansango Bawiye ke yaye Mawa minge Inana mongongo ya bikie oyo toyembaki oyo tokumisaki esuki wapie bilebi bakoti epai mosala ya mpunda mongongo ya bikie oyo toyembaki oyo tokumisaki esuki wapie bilebi bakoti epai mosala ya mpunda
thank you very much for following this live. Thank you.